What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by the Broskiedoodles Podcast. Today we have a fun-filled, packed episode for you, so stay tuned. Check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
All right. Welcome to the Love Hour. Today I'm here with my boy, the only one, Stevie D.
Hey, what up, guys? Thanks for joining the podcast. Here we are.
You're supposed to introduce me now, bro.
Oh, yeah, this guy. No, Kiko Flow, the one, the only, bro. What it do, man?
Hello, the Love Hour is here with you today, and we want to talk to you about some pretty topics today. Are you ready for this one, bro?
I'm ready.
Because I've been passionate about this topic for a minute, and I really want to poke your mind and see what you think. Are you ready? It's coming hot.
This is so for the listeners to know, this is completely off the cuff. I'm not sure what I'm walking into here, so let's do it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're being too scared. It's not something nasty. It could be though. It could have been. But it's actually, I think you're going to like it because it's, whatever. Without any more shit talking. I want to talk to you about the legalization of drugs. And in that context, either legalization of certain drugs or all drugs. At the moment in the U.S., the revolution started like 20-30 years ago, and now we have maybe 50% or more of the states have it available for medicinal purposes.
Marijuana? Talking about marijuana?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not sure of the numbers right now, but yeah, I mean, there's a ton of states that are recreational and even more states that are using it for medicinal. So even Florida.
To make the statistics easier, could we just agree that in the next 10 years, this is going to be throughout the whole U.S., pretty much, right?
Agreed. I do believe that, yeah.
Okay, so with that, going from that base, and looking at specifically at what we can see from marijuana experience in the sense of how it's been going, like I believe it's been 30 years in California for medicinal. So we have enough data and to show that done correctly, it's actually a business that provides taxes for the government, and it cuts away from the illegal violent side of it, which is still not completely surpassed because there's still illegality within it. But what if all drugs were legal? Like, would that eliminate the illegal market? And morally, do you think it should be like that? Like having, like Pfizer or different pharmaceuticals do like grade A cocaine, grade A heroin, methamphetamines, I mean, they already do like Ritalin and shit, but I'm talking about like the hardcore drugs, like everything you can get, 100% pure pharmaceutical. Do you think that's a situation that would turn out in a positive way?
That's a interesting way of looking at it. I don't, without any sort of backing of stats or anything like that, I can't say that legalizing I think what they call like class 3 or class 4, class D or E, some shit like that, drugs, which are the cocaines, the heroines, all that stuff. Those things for me seem too pure and too addicting. However, there are other ones that I feel would be cool to have, and not just for the sense of that's so cool, like no, like if you had weed across the board as medicinal, then that would definitely bring down the amount of people who are dependent on muscle relaxers or pain medicine. There's a huge, I was starting to watch a documentary on how much the painkillers in America have caused people to like become addicted, just people who just had a prescription for a little while and then just kept going with it and got addicted and went down really bad lifestyle choices.
Okay.
So I think that weed by itself or marijuana, would be a better option personally.
Okay. Also, a point that you touched there, like, I'm more towards the side, and I'm not 100% on this, but I feel like if all drugs were legal, I think we could have a positive outcome because it will eliminate a lot of the illegal crime behind it. Now, when I think about what you're saying, like these drugs are hard, you also see that in the pharmaceutical side of things, a lot of people end up with heroin and other harder drugs because they ended up taking some painkillers for like some fracture, ankle, right? So it's ironic that I'm saying like legalizing it will make it better, but the already legalized drugs that you can get through pharmaceuticals, having the correct prescription, they're already like things that could get you hooked on opioids, and you end up like, once the prescription runs out and they don't give you any more, for example, a lot of times happens, they go and look for heroin. So definitely there's a chink in the system that's getting that part fucked up. But in general, do you think that if it's legal, it will make people want to do it more? Or do you think it will be the same, and it's just that we're going to be able to have the people that do it at least be injecting heroin that's not going to kill them type shit? I mean, they can overdose, but what I'm saying is it doesn't have like dirty stuff in it,
Yeah, like Mac Miller, who, took this, but it was laced with that, and then ended in his demise, which sucks.
That was the case? That was the case?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was... I forget the name. I'm not really good with medical terms, but that is
was
what
that
happened.
the fentanyl?
Fentanyl, that's what it is.
Okay,
Fentanyl
he was shooting up heroin, but it was fentanyl.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So stuff like that, like in a world that you describe, Mac Miller would still be alive, and others. But that I agree. I mean, I think that would be better.
Let me give you. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to get your opinion on this. Obviously, this is on a micro level, but in music festivals like in Holland and Belgium, like you remember when we went to Ultra, right, in Miami? They have like Tomorrowland over there, and they have many other like a lot of music festivals, right? Electronic music, and in a lot of them in that area of Holland, Belgium, they have these little tents where you go, and if you have like cocaine or ecstasy or whatever, you give them a little bit of what you have, and they test it for you, and they give you like a little report where it says like how pure it is, if it has anything that's negative, so that you can know if you can take it or not.
Wow.
And you would think like, I mean, that's very liberal. Like, like, are you serious? Like, you're gonna make it easier for these kids to take drugs? But the alternative, and you know this because we were young and we know how these movements work. We know how we've known friends, or we've known people that do drugs, and we know how that world works.
Yeah.
So for these people, right, like the alternative is they're gonna do the same drugs, but it's probably gonna be some shitty shit, and some kid might die, like in the case of Mac Miller, right? Because they're doing some shit that's not even the drug that they intended to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, if that's what they're doing over there, then I would see what is the outcome. But I also think it has a lot to do with culture, because the Netherlands or Amsterdam, all that stuff over there, they never stopped. They never said you couldn't. I think that they tried, and it was like very short-lived, like the prohibition here. And it's such a normal that now people have grown up with it, right? So I think in the world that you describe, the first and maybe second generation of those who are alive here now today, who go through this sort of transition to it all becoming legal, as long as it's manufactured by reputable companies, it might get a little out of control, right, at first. And I think, honestly, if you are going to make it legal, then you should definitely... I don't know. You gotta cut the crime syndicates somehow. You gotta make it cheaper than what they can get it for, and up the enforcement so that way.
Yeah, but think about it, bro. I mean, it breaks down on itself by the prices being cheaper.
But a lot of the they're not. But like for instance, the marijuana down here,
it's more
medical
expensive, right?
It's crazy. Like when you want to do it the right way, I mean, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I will need to look into what is it that they're paying, because there might be things that need to be improved. But in general, or in theory rather, if you think about the drug business, large part of the price that you sell it for is because of the risk. You know what I mean? Like part of the price is tied to the risk. If you take out the risk, because now it's legal, then it should be cheaper. But I do understand what you mean. I often wonder, why is it that in California it's also more expensive? In California, I believe like it's almost like the same as if you bought it illegally. But essentially, it would need to be like half the price of the illegal market so that it could, I think, completely kill it. But I think that should be possible. I think it's a tax thing that needs to be looked into. But touching on what you were saying on Holland and the Netherlands, Amsterdam, it's funny because I thought also, like you are saying, that marijuana and other drugs are legal over there, but they're not. They're actually only legal, marijuana and some drugs, on the red district of Amsterdam, where like the coffee shops are, and then in some other cities they have little sections like that. The thing is, so it's actually not legal, and it's actually only legal to consume. The selling part is still like sort of in this vague law situation, but the culture part is very important, because even though it's not legal, people that smoke weed in those countries, like, they do it freely, and the culture of people that don't smoke is like they don't give a fuck, because those type of people live their own lives, and they're not like looking at the other ones and like, what are you doing and shit, what are you smoking, you know what I mean? So even though it's still illegal, the culture is a lot more relaxed, so even the cops might be just chill about it, you know what I mean? Even if you're smoking at a place, but that makes it so that a lot of the Dutch people that I know in Spain, there's a lot of Dutch people, and I have a few friends, and they're really cool. But none of them smoke weed, and they tell me that people think that all Dutch people would smoke weed because of the laws, but they don't. And I actually think that the fact that it's available and it's normal, they normalized it, it makes it so that kids don't even do it as much, because it's available to them, but they have the education to know what it can do to you and stuff. So I think having quality product that's not gonna kill people, and having the knowledge to provide to the public, is a better option than having an illegal market like we have it now.
I mean, they grew up with it being legal, or at least knowing that it's legal over there, like you said, in the red district, and maybe maybe they had just enough negative connotation, right? Like I'm kind of comparing it to what my mom has always told me, like, don't ever get a tattoo, and I'm like, ooh, I kind of want a tattoo, but then it's like, oh, that's permanent. And thank God I have commitment issues, man, because if not, I would have been. But I guess where I'm going with it is like, if it's like, oh, okay, if I was a Dutch parent and I'd be like, all right, look, like, you're 18, you want to have your birthday, all right, let's go to the red district, we'll drink, we'll party, this and that, but you're like, kind of like how you started drinking in the house first, you didn't become like a raging alcoholic because you probably saw your family, pacing themselves and doing this and doing that. I think that if you're going to make things like this legal, then there has to be an understanding, a respect, a culture behind it. Yeah, that's it. And that's going to be more, if not the same, if not more important than legalizing it all. Than
the laws. Yeah, right.
Because that's. Well,
I think the U.S. is moving towards that direction. So
of course, man, it's a money pit.
They made mushroom legal in Colorado for medical use recently.
Sure. I mean, I believe you, but like, yeah, okay. Like, how do you spin that,
What you mean, dog? No, but I mean, come on, you know that it really can, bro. Like, if you go on a psychedelic experience with mushrooms, you can definitely, you know what they use it for a lot?
Depression?
They use it for yes, and for terminal patients, because like people that have like terminal cancer and shit like that, it's very sad, bro. But they have them on this like dosages of mushrooms. And they go into the psychedelic trips, which allows them to accept their death in a very comfortable way in a lot of cases. Yeah, because one thing that happens, I mean, I cannot even imagine, but if you had some shit and you knew you were gonna die, like, imagine the state of mind that you would be in. Like a lot of people will go depressed, so they do it for that. But I think they also do it for relationship stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, mushrooms are legal now in Colorado, and I think in another state too. But it's gonna be the same wave. Like it's gonna happen. I mean, I'm guessing the last ones to become legal, if they will be ever, is like crack and like heroin. But
those I really never agreed with. I mean, I've never ever seen someone say like, "Yo, you gotta try that."
But they're still gonna be out there. Like that's the problem. Like,
yeah,
I'm not saying making them legal is a nice alternative. Or it's just like I don't see any other alternative. The people that use it are gonna be there. The drug addicts are gonna be there. So it's a public health issue too. It's a mental health issue too.
Yeah.
The epidemics that you have in the U.S. with homeless people and drug use, and then also mental health. I mean, obviously, it's a large issue that includes a lot of different moving parts. But to sort of simplify it, I think that the legalization of drugs can have a positive outcome. They have something, I wouldn't call it legalization of drugs, but it's the most similar that I've seen in the world, and it's in Portugal.
Okay.
In Portugal, they have decriminalization of drugs all around. So it's not legal for you to have it or sell it, but it's decriminalized. So if they catch you with any drug up to like an amount, which is a pretty considerate amount, like it's
they're being they're being generous, I guess.
Yeah, if you're a drug addict, you be happy, right? So or just a weed smoker, you be happy too. Yeah. But you can have up to a certain amount, and if they catch you with it, like you don't like, I think they can simply take it and that's it. Like, and if they catch you with like harder drugs and shit, like what they could offer you is like help for you to like, so they actually treat it as a public health issue instead of a criminal issue. You know what I mean? Ooh. And it seems that for them it has good results, So like the people that are really hard into drugs, like, okay, we're not gonna put you in jail and destroy your life because of it. But we're gonna offer you help. So it's not only one side of the coin. Like not making it so that you don't go to jail for it is one help. On the other side, a lot of these people have mental issues that need to be taken care of, and that's the only, for someone to interfere is the only way for them to ever sort of get to be a civilian that can actually, be of service to the community.
I would imagine that, that even with that help type of culture, that people around end up, like civilians end up saying, hey, like, like it's more like, yo, they have free programs. Like now you're like, oh, well, I got to put my brother into rehab or my, and I got to, he can't afford it. I got to pay for it. And it's like that adds like a layer of stress to people's families when a family can come to somebody in Portugal and say, hey, like, I see that you have this issue. Like, why don't I support you? Why don't we go there and check it out and see what we can do? And blah, blah, blah. Without the financial stresses. And I think that's really dope. I think that's really, really cool. It's definitely something's gonna have to happen over the next couple decades with that, because there's a big problem with mental health, and obviously drugs are the easiest way to deal with mental health problems. Oh, I'm feeling sad. Oh, I'm smoke a J. Or or trip out with my buddies because my household life is shit, and it's like, okay, well, that will lead to something really sucky, man,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and what I find that hurts the most is like the epidemics of drug abuse in the U.S. with the opioids, and I think it's really sad, man. It's crazy how it's growing, and obviously, I mean, this is another topic. I don't want to touch on this because this is a whole different conversation. But like when we talk about the school shootings and shootings in general, a lot of it has to do with mental health too. So there's many moving pieces, but the mental health is causing issues in the society of the U.S. and that's something to look into, because and like I'm saying, I think legalizing drugs, or at least decriminalizing like they did in Portugal, and having a similar system of support, not only on the medical side but on the community. You have to create community for these people. Like, it's not just providing them with the help, like the housing and stuff. You gotta provide them with community so that they wanna be part of the society and eventually get a job and then be on their own. I mean, the end goal of this is so that that person could be independent and, you know, pay for, you know, be somebody that can take care of themselves. That's a successful person, someone that's not a burden to society, and that's what you want to help them achieve. And I think that with a system like they have in Portugal, you know, I mean, let's see how I know that it's not. They didn't do it too recently, but it hasn't been that long that they had it either. But we can check up on the details on that and how that's been going. But I think that definitely drug users should not be in the category of criminals and should be more in the category of people that need medical and mental assistance. Would you agree?
No, I agree. It's way too much money, but that's another part of it too, right? I mean, people are making crazy amounts of cash, the private sector to house these criminals. The governments are cutting them fat checks. You know, prison is a business, and that's
it's a dirty business.
It's a dirty business, and it just makes sense that those same people will lobby against the legalization or decriminalization because the more crime, the better business for them. You know, so I think that's. I mean, we should probably get into an entirely different topic on the politics of lobbying and things like that, and the people who benefit that does not benefit the rest of the country.
Isn't that crazy? Also, like alcohol and tobacco, they're lobbying for drugs not to become legal because that hurts their business. So you got like a coalition of forces fighting this, and not always for the right reasons. It's not because, I mean, they use the banner that, oh, it's because drugs are immoral, right, and they're gonna destroy our society. Well, they're already doing that. They're already destroying our society. But the real reasons is that, you know, like you're saying, you know, the prison business, the pharmaceutical business. If you legalize weed, I mean, you legalize weed, a lot of people are gonna be able to switch, like you were saying, instead of taking some, like, you know, Percocet, that's probably gonna get them hooked on opiates. They could just smoke a blunt in the evening to take off the edge on the pain, and that could help them. You know what I mean? So obviously there's a lot of people that don't want drugs, weed included, to become legal because they're already in the legal racket. You know, like alcohol's already legal, tobacco's already legal. So you don't want the other bad shit to become legal, right? Like, no. Right. Our bad shit got grandpa in, right? Because
grandpa in,
right? Grandpa in, grandpa in, and but your bad shit, no, that shit's illegal. So
right,
I don't know. I think that's another topic again.
Too many kids in the sandbox.
Yeah, and there's not enough, you know, Twizzlers or whatever.
Or greedy ass kids who want all the Twizzlers and the sandboxes. Whatever, yeah, I get the metaphor, but it's crazy. I really do think that they should legalize, at the very least, the medical benefits of marijuana and maybe some other, you know, psychedelics, yeah, natural type of stuff. Okay. Things that, if overdone, could not actually truly kill you. Once you start to talk about the ones that can, I don't see why a smart pharmaceutical executive would just pivot and say, all right, we're not going to make Percocet anymore. We're going to make, we're going to grow, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. You know, they have the money, they got the backing, So I don't know why people. It's capitalism, man. They just want to. I already got a formula. All the R&D went into it. Why would I diversify unless I need to?
No.
And you see.
No, I mean, and why would I want to sell them weed when I already got them hooked on this pill for life? You know, like
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, to conclude here, I think that a lot of corporations are making it so that drugs stay illegal. But I think that there is a possibility that legalizing drugs, and maybe we can sort of meet in the middle. Maybe not all drugs, but some of the drugs for medical purposes and also for recreational purposes. I think it could bring a positive outcome. So who knows, if you have a different thought, leave us a comment and let us know what you think. Or if you agree with me, leave us a comment. Or if you think that we're fucking stupid and we shouldn't be talking about this stuff, say it in the comment.
Say it in the comment. Yeah, let us know, because we're not right, we're not wrong, we're just two dudes sharing our opinions,
thinking out loud.
Thinking out loud. Yeah, that's it. So thanks again for tuning in, and you guys stay clean.
Stay clean. Don't do drugs. If you want to listen to the audio version when you're running, we're also on Spotify and iTunes podcast. So check us out and take care, guys. See you in a few days.
Peace.
Hey guys, thanks for stopping by the Broskiedoodles Podcast today. We hope you had a lot of fun listening to it. We had a lot of fun recording it. If you like what you heard, go ahead and smash that like button and hit us up on all of our social handles. Leave us a comment so we can talk to you online and figure out what else to talk about online. So, yeah.